Hey, Derek here from Paddle.ca, and I have a nice little treat for you guys today. This is the very first batch of T4X Light. You might have seen Marty Morissette's stories on Instagram. We love Marty. He's got a one-off Prospector 17 in T4X Light. This is the very first batch of Prospector Sport in T4X Light. The only difference is there's a little light word underneath the T4X. It's a 2024, but really 2025 because it's coming late season 2024, so it is a 2025 boat, I'd say. It's a Prospector Sport. So first thing about the Prospector Sport, I often get the question, Derek, should I get the Prospector 16 or the Prospector Sport? One thing I like about the Prospector Sport compared to the 16, it has more volume in the bow and stern. It has 3/4 inch more of rocker. So the Canoes does the banana a little bit more rocker. And that's just aesthetic, but the roundness of the tip here is really nice. It's a symmetrical boat. So those traits, along with a slightly rounder bottom, okay, if you put them side by side, you can really see just slightly rounder. So it makes a slightly more active hull when you're paddling. You get used to it really quickly. It's not something that makes you feel unstable. It just makes the boat feel a little bit more maneuverable and easier to put on edge if you're solo. Easier to maneuver a little bit in the white water. It'll ride up onto the wave instead of cutting through the wave compared to the Prospector 16. If you're gonna get a 16, you're really thinking about a 16. But now you want to do some whitewater. 16 also, my friend Evan, he does a ton of great stuff on the 16 in the whitewater. The 16 is proven in whitewater. This one will just be a little bit drier, a little bit more nimble. If you are thinking of doing a lot of whitewater, that's the boat, but you don't want to move up to a Canyon or Prospector 17, much larger boat, heavier boats. Prospector Sport is a really nice sweet spot. Sometimes also people look for a lighter model. They want maybe save the weight, so they go 59 pounds for the Prospector 15. Also very nimble, shorter, nice rocker, keeps a nice track, nice boat. For a foot longer, and now in the T4X Light, this one I feel might be a better choice if you're going to do a bit of whitewater. It's going to stay drier, but you're still going to have this super nimble boat. One thing I'm excited about for the T4X Light is specifically this model. I thought there was a few models thrown around that would be the first ones to be made out of this material. And I was specifically excited about the Prospector Sport because I always find these quite stiff. So they're already stiff. The roundness of the bottom makes it a nice stiff hull, stiff boat, stiff bottom. And I feel if you're gonna go for lighter materials with a canoe, this one would be a perfect candidate specifically for that. So it translates really nicely to this new material. I'm so excited to try it out and see how well it goes. Typically we outfit this one with a tandem outfitting kit, airbags. The customers that don't get the airbags right away, they call me back the day after they go on the rapids and they swamp the boat and they're like, Derek, I need some airbags. So it's up to you. You can get it now, get it later. It doesn't matter. In the end, you're most likely going to end up with airbags if you do any kind of whitewater. It's a beautiful color as well for 2024. This is the orange. We had a lot of orange. It was super popular this year. It's beautiful. It's nice fresh look. Prospector Sport Light, T4X Light. Now we have the H2O Alpha here, 38 pounds, 37 pounds, carbon and Negra, decent shape for whitewater, really nice boat. But it's still not a boat I want to lean up against the rocks. So Esquif came up with this beautiful canoe, T4X Light. There's a few other models coming out. I'm not sure what's officially announced yet, so I'm not going to say too much about it. But it is lighter. I've weighed this unit. This unit is 55.4 pounds. It is a handmade process, okay? There's a lot of handmade parts of making a canoe, so there's always a little bit of variation. Don't worry too much about the variation. Worry about having fun with your canoe. Compared to the Prospector Sport in regular T4X, this is a 10-pound shaving. And then we've had some Prospector Sport around 66, 67. So if you compare it to that, that's like 12 pounds less. Let's do a little portage right now. How does it feel? Feels nice and light. This unit's actually gone. Actually, the customer was going to come and pick up a Prospector 16, and I told him we had this in stock, and that would be better for his trip on the Coulonge. Coulonge River, not too much gear, not a huge trip, 6-7 days. Super nimble, but still tracks really well on the flats. You're not going to have to do too many corrective strokes like at Pocket Canyon, for example. You're going to be able to maintain a nice line, maintain dry lines in the whitewater. Super nice balance boat, probably the most versatile in the range if you consider this region, lakes, rivers, mix it up, camping, day trips. If I only had one canoe, this would be it. Typically in whitewater trips that are just 2, 3, 4 days, like I'm heading on the Coulonge River for 3 nights, 4 days, do this 64-kilometer run from Lac Benoit this weekend, I like the Pocket Canyon or the Prospector Sport. Canyon, you can fit 4 barrels, but I like to travel with just 1 barrel, 1 day bag per person. So when I think of this Prospector Sport, it's going to be a lot easier to lift over the 1.5 kilometer Portage of Grand Chute. Easier to carry. It forces your friends not to bring too many extra luggage, and you're still having a great time because you feel so nimble and you can go explore anywhere. I've been playing around with the one-hand Portage, so we can play around with that today here again. Let's see if I can get it to work, if I'm digesting my lunch, but you can kind of try to, I'll turn around. So this, again, 55 pounds. I'm not the biggest guy, so it's definitely, you feel it, but it's doable. One hand. Really, really nice unit. I had 2 of these, they sold in 2 days. So I'm expecting this T4X LITE to be quite popular. T4X LITE. Okay, that's the new, you gotta see if you have the light on there. From Paddle.ca, call us if you want to talk about the new Prospector LITE.